Women often present themselves as if they have it all figured out, confident, strong, and completely unfazed by men. They walk into a room with their heads high, radiating independence and control. But here's the truth most men never realize. No matter how powerful she seems, every woman has hidden vulnerabilities. And when the right man knows how to tap into those weak spots, she can lose all sense of control, without even realizing it. These aren't the surface-level tricks you read about in generic dating advice. This goes far deeper. These are the psychological triggers buried beneath her polished exterior. The ones that break down her walls and make her crave your presence on a subconscious level. The average man doesn't even know these triggers exist. Because real attraction? It's not about being rich. It's not about looking like a model or driving a fancy car. It's about psychology, pure and simple. And when you understand how to activate these invisible switches, she won't just want you. She'll feel like she needs you. Let's break it down. 1. The power of a man's touch. There's a reason a woman can resist your words, argue with your logic, even ignore your attention, but melt under a well-timed touch. Because attraction isn't just mental, it's biological, it's primal. She might say she's independent, that she doesn't need anyone. But the moment a man touches her in the right way, with confidence and subtlety, her guard starts to fall. Research from the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships shows that physical touch increases oxytocin in women, a chemical that creates feelings of trust, comfort, and, yes, desire. It's not about groping or constant contact. It's about being deliberate. Think about it. A woman might be unsure about a man. But then, during a conversation, he lightly places his hand on the small of her back as he guides her through a door. Suddenly, her thoughts shift. Her emotional state changes. She doesn't fully understand why, but she feels something. It's because the right kind of touch bypasses logic and goes straight to emotion. The secret? Touch must be sporadic, intentional, and confident. Not needy, not aggressive, confident. It builds tension. It creates an atmosphere of quiet dominance. A confident touch on her wrist, the small of her back, her knee. These gestures create micro-reactions she can't control. Now think about the bad boy stereotype. What makes him so irresistible? He doesn't sit stiffly across from her like he's on a job interview. He leans in slightly. He touches her hand when making a point. He brushes a strand of hair behind her ear, like it's the most natural thing in the world. Suddenly, she's not just hearing him. She's feeling him. Even the most guarded woman will start to melt when a man uses touch with the right mix of boldness and restraint. 2. The forbidden effect. If there's one universal truth about human behavior, it's this: we want what we can't have. It's why a woman might ignore the guy who's always texting her, but become obsessed with the one who takes his time. It's why she becomes more interested in a man the moment another woman starts paying attention to him. It's why mystery is magnetic. Psychologist Robert Cialdini calls this the scarcity principle. When something is rare or just out of reach, it becomes more desirable. In dating, this is dynamite. A man who's always available is taken for granted. A man who's unpredictable, suddenly, she's the one chasing. The guy who's always texting, always around, always saying yes, signals that he has nothing better to do. But a man who has a rich, fulfilling life, one who's focused, busy, selective, that man earns her respect and her attention. Being slightly unavailable, being deliberate, being a little hard to pin down. These things don't push her away. They *pull her in. Because now she's wondering, Why isn't he texting me back right away? Why does he feel so different from other guys? What's going on in his life that's so important? And that curiosity becomes attraction. That tension becomes obsession. This is how you flip the dynamic, from chasing to being chased. Because once she feels like she might lose you, she'll do whatever it takes to keep you. And that's when the game completely changes. Previously, we revealed how the right mix of subtle touch and emotional mystery can flip the dynamic, turning a woman from being pursued into the one who's doing the chasing. Now, we're going deeper into the psychology behind female attraction, into the lesser-known triggers that keep her emotionally hooked, often without her even realizing why. Let's keep going. When a man positions himself as a prize, not an option, something shifts in a woman's perception. The moment she feels like she has to work to keep his attention, her desire increases. And when he shows that he's not afraid to walk away if he's not being valued, she suddenly sees him in a whole new light. Why? Because scarcity creates value. That's just human nature. 3. Why drama keeps her hooked. Most men believe women crave peace, stability, and predictability, and they do, especially for long-term partnerships. But here's the twist. When it comes to short-term attraction, comfort isn't what keeps her hooked. It's emotional stimulation. Psychologists have long known that dopamine spikes aren't caused by consistent happiness. They come from emotional contrast. The fluctuations between highs and lows. The thrill of not knowing what's next. That's why women find themselves obsessing over unpredictable men. She might not say it out loud, but uncertainty, when used wisely, is intoxicating. If a man becomes too predictable, she slowly detaches. But if he keeps her wondering, keeps her feeling that emotional roller coaster, she can't stop thinking about him. Her brain begins to associate that man with stimulation, passion, and excitement. Think about it. The guy who disappears for a day, then reappears with a charming message like nothing happened. The man who makes her laugh in one moment, then challenges her the next. The guy who stays slightly out of reach, he's magnetic. Not because he's playing games, but because he understands emotional rhythm. Robert Greene, a well-known expert on seduction, said it best. Presence and absence must be carefully balanced. Too much presence? You become boring. Too much absence? You lose your power. But the sweet spot? That's where real seduction happens. Attraction for women is driven far more by emotion than logic. And when a man creates moments that make her feel unpredictable emotions, she's not just attracted, she's hooked. 4. How a man's voice controls her mind. Touch is powerful, but don't underestimate the power of sound. A woman's ears are wired for emotional input just as much as her skin is for physical contact. The tone of your voice, the rhythm of your speech, the timing of your pauses. These elements bypass her logic and go straight to her subconscious. They create an atmosphere she can feel, even if she doesn't understand why. A slow, deep, and deliberate voice doesn't just sound good, it signals confidence, control, and presence. It tells her, without saying it outright, that you're someone who knows what he wants, and isn't in a rush to get it. And science backs this up. A study from the University of Aberdeen found that women consistently rate lower-pitched male voices as more attractive. Why? Because they subconsciously associate that sound with strength, stability, and genetic fitness. But pitch alone isn't the full story. It's also about rhythm. Men who talk too fast come off as nervous. Men who speak too slow seem unsure. But men who speak with intentional control, they hold her attention effortlessly. Think of a scene in a movie where a man seduces a woman. He doesn't blurt things out. He doesn't fill every silence. He speaks as if every word is meant to touch her, not just inform her. That's how you speak when you want to seduce with sound. And here's the true secret. Silence is just as powerful. The right pause before a sentence. The space between your words. These small moments build anticipation. And anticipation is where attraction lies. 5. The hidden effect of jealousy. Let's talk about one of the most underestimated forces in female desire. Jealousy. A woman can like a man. She can feel attracted to him. But the moment she notices other women are interested in him, her desire skyrockets. Why? Because now, she's not just choosing him. She's competing for him. This is evolutionary psychology in action. Women are biologically wired to desire high-value men. And how do they measure value? One of the most powerful signals is social proof. If other women want him, there must be something about him worth wanting. It's why celebrities, athletes, and influential men rarely struggle with attention. It's not just their looks or fame. It's the fact that their desirability is validated by others. Now, this doesn't mean you need to pretend you're a celebrity, but it does mean that a man who is admired by other women, whether subtly or openly, instantly becomes more desirable. On the other hand, if a man puts all his focus on one woman too quickly, she may interpret that as a lack of options, not because she's unkind, but because scarcity equals value. If no one else wants him, she starts to question why she should. The man who is admired by others isn't necessarily a player. He simply doesn't shrink himself for one woman. He moves with confidence. He carries social value. And when a woman sees that, her mind and emotions respond. Because jealousy isn't about immaturity, it's about biology. It's not about playing games, it's about understanding psychology. These psychological triggers, scarcity, unpredictability, tone, touch, and subtle jealousy, aren't tricks. They're truths. And once you master them, you'll stop chasing women, because they'll start chasing you. In the previous section, we explored how emotional tension, tone, and subtle cues like jealousy can activate deep attraction in a woman. But now, we're entering the final layers, the forces that truly make a woman emotionally hooked and obsessed. These aren't tricks, they're truths, grounded in psychology and primal instincts. And once you understand them, everything changes. Let's dive into the final triggers that most men never realize are at play. 6. The sweet spot of tension. One of the most common mistakes men make in early attraction is rushing. They move too fast, get too eager, confess feelings before true chemistry has had a chance to grow. And in the process, they kill the tension. And tension is everything. Think of your favorite movie. Is it the opening scene that gets you hooked? Or is it the slow burn? The build-up? The unanswered questions? That's what keeps you watching. And that's exactly what keeps a woman intrigued. Attraction thrives in uncertainty. The moment a man reveals too much too soon, whether through confession, over-availability, or pushing for commitment, he removes the mystery. And when mystery dies, so does desire. But the man who understands this, he plays the long game. He flirts, he teases, he holds back just enough to keep her guessing. And in doing so, he activates one of her most powerful psychological cravings. The desire to earn a man's attention. Not just receive it, but earn it. A man who takes his time, whether in touch, conversation, or emotional pacing, builds up pressure like steam in a kettle. The longer he waits, the more she wants, the more she wonders, the more emotionally engaged she becomes. This is the sweet spot of tension. And when you master it, she won't be able to get enough of you. 7. The fantasy effect. Attraction isn't just about the man standing in front of her. It's about the story she tells herself when he's not around. Women don't fall for a man's resume. They fall for the way he makes them feel, in their imagination. It's why women obsess over celebrities they've never met. It's not just fame or money. It's because those figures create a story, a fantasy, an emotional space that her mind fills with intrigue, longing, and desire. But here's the secret. You don't need to be rich or famous to create this effect. You just need to stop giving everything away too soon. Most men overshare. They explain too much. They answer every question. They're emotionally transparent to a fault. And while honesty is important, it's mystery that keeps her thinking about you at 2 a.m. The man who doesn't reveal every thought, who doesn't explain every move, who lets his actions speak louder than his words, that's the man who becomes unforgettable. Because women don't become obsessed with clarity. They become obsessed with questions. What's he thinking? Why didn't he reply right away? Why'd I feel so drawn to him even when he's not doing anything? Leave gaps. Let her wonder. A man who can make a woman's imagination wander is a man who takes up permanent space in her mind. And that kind of fantasy? It's stronger than any compliment or gift. 8. The authority effect. Many women say they want an equal in a relationship, and they do. But equality doesn't mean a lack of leadership. Deep down, a woman's biology is wired to respond to a man who can lead, not control, but lead with strength, confidence, and purpose. It's not about being bossy or demanding. It's about being decisive. A man who constantly asks, "What do you want to do?" or "Is this okay with you?" might seem polite, but to her subconscious, it signals uncertainty, and uncertainty kills attraction. Compare that to the man who says, "Let's do this." No hesitation, no doubt, just certainty. That tone, that mindset, that energy, it calms her, grounds her, and most importantly, turns her on. Because her attraction isn't just emotional, it's primal. This is why women fantasize about dominant men. Why they test men with subtle challenges. Why the moment a man starts seeking her approval, her interest begins to fade. Leadership doesn't mean controlling her. It means guiding the experience with clarity and calm power. A strong man sets the tone. He doesn't wait to be led. And when a woman senses that kind of energy, one that doesn't waver, doesn't beg, doesn't flinch, she trusts it. She respects it. And yes, she desires it. 9. The emotional drug. Ask a woman what she wants and she might say, "A nice guy. Someone stable, safe, drama-free." But let's be real. Women don't fall for men because of stability. They fall because of the emotions those men stir up inside them. Think of it like a roller coaster. The thrill, the highs, the fear, the butterflies in your stomach. That's what keeps people coming back. And attraction works the same way. When a man creates emotional variety, playfulness, teasing, surprise, even a little unpredictability, he becomes addictive. It's the emotional roller coaster that gets her hooked. She may appreciate the predictable guy, but she doesn't crave him. The man who gives her emotional spikes, the one who knows how to push and pull, who keeps her wondering what's next, that's the man she can't stop thinking about. Because her heart doesn't follow logic, it follows emotion. And the man who knows how to create those emotions, without being manipulative, owns her attention completely. 10. The submissive trigger. Despite how far society has evolved, there's one truth that still holds strong. Most women crave a man who makes them feel protected. They want to relax into their femininity. But to do that, they need to feel the presence of strong, masculine energy. That doesn't mean being overbearing or possessive. It means exuding strength through your body language, your voice, and your mindset. When a man owns the room without trying too hard, when he sets boundaries calmly and firmly, when he leads without needing validation, that's when a woman feels safe enough to let go, to stop leading, to surrender, to fall. It's a psychological release, a deeply rooted response to strength, not aggression, but grounded, quiet confidence. The weak man? He apologizes too much. He seems nervous. He doesn't trust himself, and so she doesn't trust him either. But the strong man? She melts around him. She can't even explain why. It's not logical. It's emotional. It's chemical. And when she feels that, she doesn't want to run the show. She wants to be part of his. Now you know what most men don't. Use it. Be the man who stands out. The one who doesn't chase, but attracts. The one who doesn't explain himself, but commands attention. The one she remembers, not just because of what he says, but because of how he makes her feel. This is Stoic Guide. Until next time, stay sharp, stay grounded, and always stay ahead.
Thanks for spending time here. If this resonated with you, give it a like, send it to a friend, and make sure you're subscribed. Your support means everything.